All right, our next problem is 7.55. And the problem says each of the following compounds can be prepared from an alkyl iodide with a suitable nucleophile. In each case, identify the alkyl iodide. So all of these are primary and secondary. So we're going to want to use SN2 probably because that's going to be faster. And so we want a strong nucleophile if possible. Some of these may not have a strong nucleophile, but we'll see. So the first one, A, is definitely SN2 because it's primary. And so kind of thinking about what we have to start with. So if this is my product, thinking backwards about my starting material. And in organic 2, we'll talk about this arrow. It's called a retrosynthetic arrow. It means thinking backwards. So thinking backwards, this needed to be my nucleophile, that OH, and my electrophile, it said, had to be iodide. So I'd basically just put an iodide there. And my nucleophile would have to be something with an OH. And since this is SN2, I need to make it a strong nucleophile. And so I'm going to use hydroxide. For B, it says I have this compound. And again, this is primary because that's just one carbon attached to that position. So thinking backwards, again, I want to use an iodide because that's what the question said has to be my leaving group. And I need to make a nucleophile out of this thing. So since it's primary, it has to be a negative charge. So I'm going to use acetate ion. For C, this is where we have to pay very close attention to what we know about SN2. So if this is SN2 and I'm just making that one compound thinking backwards, remember SN2 gives us inversion of configuration. So that means since this is a wedge on this one, this needs to be a dash over here because it has to be inverted. And all I'm going to do is replace that nucleophile, okay? So remember all of these, this is the product. So those are, the nucleophile ends up there at the end. So the problem said to use iodide as the leaving group. So I'm going to use iodide as my leaving group. And I'm going to use a cyano group. So this is going to be cyanide. It's cyano when it's added. So this is cyanide ion. Now let's do D. So same thing for D. So this is my nucleophile. And according to the problem, we're using only iodide as a leaving group, but because this is a wedge, since this is SN2, we need to have dashes to start. And my nucleophile has to be SH minus.